Dream, search, drive. Cars.co.za.
Whether you're an angel, a dictator, a space captain, a tree, or just if your car is stolen, we'll help you replace it.
Oh, it's still Archie's car, man.
With no drama. Budget, the official insurer of good South Africans.
Hello, welcome to the middle of the vast state of Arizona in the USA. We have traveled many miles and many time zones to be amongst the first people in the world to drive the brand new BMW XM, the first completely bespoke M car since the M1. And I have headed out of the city into a beautiful mountain road. There's some snow around me. I'm stuck behind an old Subaru, unfortunately, but that should change. And when it does, I'll do my best to tell you what it's like to drive this brand new German spaceship. Right, so let me take you through what's going on here. This is actually a plug-in hybrid. It's also all-wheel drive. It has the engine from the V8, the 4.4 twin turbo, snuck out of the M5, and that is mated to a 145 kilowatt electric motor, which is built into the 8-speed transmission. And what that means is that this car is more powerful than a Lamborghini Urus. 653 horsepower here in metric terms, that's 480 kilowatts, 800 Newton meters of torque. And that means that this heffalump of a car is good for a 0 to 100 time of 4.3 seconds, which is exactly the same 0 to 100 time as the manual M2 that I drove this morning. So yeah, it's quick. It's very quick, but fast is not good enough for BMW. The people at M make sure that their cars can go around corners, and that's why they've devised this launch route for us. Look at the snow. Wow, that's very pretty. Look at that. Up in the mountains of Arizona, so that we can get used to or get a feeling for what this car is like through the twisties. And I'm getting there. I'm still behind the Subaru. It's going to move, I think, maybe. Now I can almost hear what some of you are thinking. How did the BMW M division go from making a car like the M1 to a car like the XM? And I think it's fair to say that the world has changed significantly since the M1 came out in the 80s. And well, companies have to keep up with the times if they want to stay in business. But I do feel like BMW set out to make something quite special here. What I'm quite impressed with is the multitude of experiences that you can have in one vehicle. So for instance, you can press the M hybrid button down here. This is the first car to ever have an M hybrid button, and you can lock it into electric mode, and you can do up to about 90 kilometers of range, all the way up to 140 kilometers an hour in pure electric mode. So you get this EV experience, really, this sort of spaceship experience. And then along with the electric mode, you get those very cool Hans Zimmer iconic sounds. So that sort of sound that grows in intensity as you accelerate and as you get faster. It doesn't necessarily get louder, just sort of gets more intense. It's a little bit difficult to describe, but it's very clever. Hans Zimmer is a pretty smart guy. And then you can put it into hybrid mode, and then you get the full benefit of the drivetrain, the electric motor, the 8-speed gearbox, the 4.4 liter twin turbocharged V8, and cruising around town, as I've been doing here in the town of Clarkson, Jerome, somewhere. I'm barely keeping up with where I am in the world, to be honest. But you sort of just get a little whiff, a faint taste of that V8, the noise coming through. And then it combines that with the handsomer sounds as well. So it's this sort of very interesting oral experience. So it can be a comfortable SUV, it can be a comfortable EV. You can plug it in so you can maximize the electric range. It also regenerates on its own. So my range has actually gone up since I've been driving it in hybrid mode, my full electric range. So this is a very broad spectrum car, this. It has many talents. And I don't see why you couldn't daily this car if you wanted something that really stood out. But this is an M car at the end of the day. I have two M buttons on the steering wheel, M1 and M2 in bright red. I have carbon fiber flappy paddles. So we need to find out, does it drive like an M car? Right, the roads have opened up. Let's press one of these M buttons. Would I like to confirm? Yes, please. Got my heads up display telling me that I'm about to unleash the beast. Let's use one of these carbon fibre pedals. 5th gear. 4th. Okay, there we go. Now we're starting to feel some of those 653 horses. And I feel like that number is quite convenient because the Lamborghini Urus has 650 horsepower. This has 653. So I think there at the M Engineering Lab, they were like, oh, gents, just turn it up just a little, just get that extra 3 in there. But how about this? BMW are not satisfied with building the world's most powerful SUV. They've gone and made a more powerful one, and it will be coming to South Africa. It's called the Label Red, not the red label or the black label. That's what I called it earlier by mistake, then I got corrected. It is the Label Red, and just for funsies, it has another 100 horsepower and another 200 Newton meters. So you're looking at 750 horsepower, 550 kilowatts, and 1,000 Newton meters of torque in this car with some red bits on the outside. Anyway, let's leave Label Red till later. We'll get to drive that at some stage, and let's have a look at this XM that I have in my hands. So I never got to drive an M1, so this is the first bespoke M car I'm getting to drive. I have, however, driven the i4 M50 quite extensively, which, interestingly enough, is the best-selling M car in the world right now. Yes, the best-selling M car on earth is electric. That's how much the world has changed. And you just get the feeling that when they were conceiving this XM, they thought, right, what have we got? Let's throw absolutely everything at it. The Hans Zimmer sounds, yep, throw that in. 4.4 litre V8 twin turbo, yep, no, throw that in as well. Throw in a big electric motor. Now immediately the chassis and the suspension setup feels better to me than that other bonkers SUV that BMW makes, the X6M, which is quite possibly my least favorite BMW. That car, the suspension never feels quite happy about itself. It never feels quite settled. You get this sort of weird shifting mid-corner, which I don't like, which I don't feel inspires a lot of confidence. But immediately in this car, I feel completely different. It feels like I know exactly what each tire is going through right now. Let's ring out the gears here. All 550, no, that's the Label Red, all 480 kilowatts. I hope there's no cops anywhere near here. I'll be absolute. You guys would have to come bail me out of prison. Okay, I'll tell you what, let's do this. Let's slow down a little bit so that I don't get arrested, and let's feel what it's like to pull through the gears in this car. So currently we're at 50 miles an hour, and second, and we've got 2 lanes coming up, and go. Yeah, I mean, you saw me getting thrown back in my chair there. That's a lot of power. This is a heavy car, and it absolutely jumps, and you really can feel the electric motor filling in that initial hole in the torque that you might expect from a large turbocharged engine. So you really do get completely linear power delivery out of this drivetrain, which is amazing. That's like BMW. That's like the holy grail of what they do is linear power delivery, and they've managed to integrate it into a giant four-wheel drive hybrid SUV. That's pretty damn impressive. It's kind of giving me more M5 vibes than it's giving me X6M vibes. It feels way more settled, way more planted. I feel like I can push way harder, and that for me is the mark of a great luxury sports car. Yeah, you see what just happened there? That's what you want to happen in a sports car. You want that involuntary giggle of delight. Your inner 7-year-old is absolutely loving life. Something that I think BMW have done a great job of is making this cabin shrink around the driver. This is a large car. That A-pillar feels like it's very, very far away from me on the other side of the car. But the center console down here is very wide, and you sort of have the curve of the armrest coming out at you. The seats are very, very sporty, even though they do contain massage function. They're not as sporty as something as you get in an M4, for instance, but it's definitely more of a bucket seat than it is a sort of luxury GT seat, for instance. The steering wheel is an M steering wheel, yoinked straight out of the M5 or the M4 or the X6M or whatever the case may be. So it's amazing how this cockpit also seems to match the multitude of talents that the car itself has and that the drivetrain gives you, in that when you're sort of cruising around, it's a comfortable big cruiser, and when you're out here having a bit of fun, it feels a bit like a sports car. And that's quite an impressive bit of design. There really is an enormous amount of space in the back seat. So BMW don't have local pricing for this car. I'm driving it in March, the middle of March 2023. Should be on our roads by about May. I'm guessing ballpark north of 3 million Rand. So this is going to be a fairly expensive exercise. It's not going to be a volume seller, let's put it that way. But I do suspect that when we see it on our roads, you will turn to look at it. It's a really attention-grabbing car. Yes, the design might be a little bit divisive and a bit polarizing, but you sort of get the feeling that they've done that on purpose. They want you to look at it no matter what, and I think they've got mission accomplished there. But for your 3 million Rand, you are getting a car which offers a hell of a lot. Excellent rear passenger experience, excellent driver experience, a complete sports car luxury barge experience, as you would get if you bought an M5, but then you have this massive SUV, which obviously is very desirable, and that's what people seem to want these days. This is a lot of car, and it's many different cars in one, and I think that's what I like most about it. Not only is Cars.co.za the best place to find your dream car, but it's also the easiest place to sell your current car. Check out the sell car section on our main website. Simply list your car's details and all of our dealers will take bids on your car. You just choose the highest price. Boom, your car's gone. On to your next one. Right, thanks very much for watching the video. Okay, I think I'm done. Yeah, I'm finished now.
Cars.co.za.
Insurance that pays out faster than the word Archie. Budget, the official insurer of good South Africans.